Devotional, Wednesday, 24th of June. Tony Campolo tells about the time he was asked to speak at a Pentecostal college. Before the service, 8 men had him kneel so they could place their hands on his head and pray. Tony was glad to have the prayer, but each of them prayed a long time, and the longer they prayed, the more they pushed on Tony's head. And then they seemed to wander in their prayers too. One of the men didn't even pray for Tony. He prayed for some guy he was concerned about. He began to pray and said, "Dear Lord, you know Charlie Stultzfus. He lives in that silver trailer down the road a mile or two. You know the trailer, Lord, just down the road on the right-hand side." Tony wanted to interrupt and tell him that God already knew where the guy lived and didn't need directions, but he just knelt there trying to keep his head upright. The prayer went on. "Lord, Charlie told me this morning that he was going to leave his wife and 3 kids. Step in and do something, Lord. Bring that family back together." With that, the prayer time ended and Tony went on to preach at the college chapel. Things went well and he got into his car and began to drive home. And as he drove onto the Pennsylvania highway, he saw a hitchhiker and felt compelled to pick him up. Campolo said, "We drove a few minutes and I said, 'Hi, my name is Tony Campolo. What's yours?' He said, 'My name is Charlie Stultzfus.' I couldn't believe it. I got off the highway at the next exit and headed back. He got a bit uneasy with that, and after a few minutes he said, 'Hey, mister, where are you taking me?' I said, 'I'm taking you home.' He narrowed his eyes and asked, 'Why?' I said, 'Because you've just left your wife and 3 kids, right?' That blew him away. Yeah, that's right," with shock written all over his face. He plastered himself against the car door and never took his eyes off me. Then I really did him in as I drove right to his silver trailer. When I pulled up, his eyes seemed to bulge as he asked, "How did you know where I lived?" I said, "God told me." When he opened the trailer door, his wife exclaimed, "You're back, you're back." He whispered in her ear, and the more he talked, the bigger her eyes got. I said with real authority, "The 2 of you sit down. I'm going to talk to you, and you're going to listen." Man, did they listen. That afternoon, I led these 2 young people to Jesus Christ and faith in him. In Revelation chapter 3 and 8, we read, "I know your deeds. See, I've placed before you an open door that no one can shut." Now, what does that open door Christ sets before us, his church, represent? Precisely what Campolo describes: new opportunities to spread the word of God to others.